So, I think I'm just going to read the news and randomly laugh at the ridiculousness. So, now that there's this awesome coronavirus thing, butt raping our economy, I mean, if I didn't know better, I would think it was an economy that I had built, because that's kind of how it works. You know, for the last 3.5 years, regulations got knocked down, interest rates got knocked down, taxes got knocked down, and everybody was making stupid money. I myself haven't been doing horribly, and I pretty much am a walking jinx machine. So, what the hell, dude? Do we really need some stupid-ass bat soup freaking... Who knows? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can go into the 450 different conspiracy theories about this stupid-ass thing. You know? Or you could just chalk it up to we were just winning too much. I mean, the stock market was at its highest ever. It kept getting record after record. Home prices are stupid high because everyone's making money, and the interest rates were, pretty low. I was able to keep my bank account not negative for 5 minutes. Able to pay for a new iPhone and a updated version of my Prius. I'm a rideshare driver. I don't actually care about the environment. I won't be alive that long. So, everything was going great. And then this stupid virus, which, by all counts, hasn't even killed like 1% of the amount of people that the average flu has killed. It's just butt raping our awesome economy. And it's like every time I'm starting to do good, something crazy happens. I lose one of my 5 jobs, or, God bless him, the father-in-law has to decide to do hospice at my house until he dies. So, or a car, randomly throws an engine or something, right, when I'm working and driving all the time. Random stupid junk that keeps you from going forward in life, but not the whole damn economy. I mean, I'm 90% sure that by November, it'll be back to normal. But right now, I would just like to not hit the summertime at full speed in the negative. And I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I love listening to conspiracy theories. And I love, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, and the deep state. One of those is real, probably. And if I was a conspiracy theorist, I could go down 14 different rabbit holes because of this stupid coronavirus. Everything from, sort of logical things, like, were the Chinese in Wuhan working in their little laboratory to make a bioweapon, and then somebody screwed up and dropped a vial, or something along those lines. That's probably the least crazy version. Because it is, and here's something you need to know, it's not a bat version of coronavirus. There is coronavirus that naturally occurs in certain animals. That's why your Lysol can has coronavirus listed as one of the things that it kills, one of the germs that it kills. But then you have to wonder, why does Bill Gates from Microsoft own a patent on this coronavirus? And why at the same time, when all this craziness is going on, did Bill Gates last year hold a safety drill dealing with coronavirus? Okay. And, I mean, since like 2017, he was talking about some epidemic that could be a super contagious and deadly strain of the flu. Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Just because this billionaire who believes in lowering the population, which he's spoken about numerous times. I think there's even a TED Talk. There's videos. Google it. Which, interesting, that's another whole controversy about Google and YouTube allowing certain things like that back onto their platforms slowly, which is just... and Twitter. I'm sure that's going to go away in 5 minutes anyway. But so, if I was a conspiracy theorist, I would think that Bill Gates worked with people to make this thing, which he's been telling us about since 2017, or maybe earlier. That's just the first notice I see of it, that they've already done pandemic, testing on, that the CDC just happened to hire a bunch of extra people last November for help in quarantining people. These things are all just coincidences, man. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. These things all just happened. And the fact that the same day that President Trump came out in the press conference and said, when asked about why he keeps calling it a China virus and where it came from and this and that, he says, well, we know where it came from. We all know where it came from. And then Bill Gates that afternoon steps down as CEO of Microsoft. Like I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That just sounds crazy. Not to mention, it's just the season for that. There's those there's maps. There's spreadsheets online for some reason from some of those people that believe in conspiracies about the fact that there's, a couple hundred CEOs, like CEOs that make stupid money, stepping down. There's articles in Forbes, and like I said, Bill Gates, Bob Iger, who's like Disney. You have to wonder, what? So I guess it's just the season. It's the season that people step down from huge billion-dollar companies where they make billions of dollars. Even Marilyn Houston, who I didn't even know was one of these most powerful women in the world, just stepped down from Lockheed Martin. Which you would think I would have known that there was a woman that was running Lockheed, for God's sake. That's kind of a huge thing, But like I said, there's hundreds of them from all kinds of different, really huge companies, and you're kind of like, if I was a conspiracy theorist, I'd be like, why are they doing that? And then you get the people who think that the whole virus. Man, I've heard so many different versions. How many times in history, like when the H1N1 came out, when SARS came out, when the Rocky Mountain flu came out, how many of those things happened that had so many conspiracy theories behind them? We've gotten to a point where we can't trust any news agency or any politicians anymore. And you just have to wonder, what is the deal? Like I said, it's a good thing I'm not a conspiracy theorist, because right now, I'd be wearing a tinfoil uniform. But who knows? And then of course you've got some people who are like, it's awful weird how certain mayors, especially in Democrat-led areas, who are trying to shut down the sale of guns. They don't want you to buy guns. And They don't want you to buy liquor. And they're telling you to stay inside. Now, in America right now, I don't think we've had 100 people die from this thing. And we've got New York, parts of, I think, LA and San Francisco, weird, are shut down. I mean, it would definitely seem like, the bad people in the government are trying to screw us all over somehow, right? Not to mention, the really funny thing, the statistic I heard earlier today, was that literally, when you look at people infected by coronavirus, and you keep hearing about stars, Tom Hanks and his wife, and, there's basketball players, and there's other people. I'd have to bounce over to TMZ for 5 seconds to get a giggle at who's quarantined themselves or, is hiding from it. And, I mean, for some reason, you got this percentage of the population that, people that are famous like this are like less than 1% of the population, yet they've got over 1% of the infections. Wow, that's weird. Or maybe it's just misdiagnosed. Like I said, I am definitely not a conspiracy theorist. It's just, if you were a conspiracy theorist, you'd probably be like, what? But luckily I'm not. And you could take this, and you've got everything from people, depending on what channel you turn the TV on, you can turn on CNN, MSNBC, Fox, random YouTube channel, Twitter. You've got a doctor over here saying it's like the flu, wash your hands, don't be stupid. You turn on to this channel over here, and they're like, about 1 million people are going to die. It's going to be horrible. It's the end of the world. It's like, y'all guys need to get in a room and at least come up with a number in the middle. Between like 100 people and 1 million or 2 million. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and then of course there's the people that are curious about the actors like Tom Hanks, because there's a previous conspiracy theories about that guy and Isaac Cappy. Anyway, that, leads you down that wormhole, following the rabbit down the rabbit hole, whatever you want to call it. And you don't even know who you're supposed to believe. But it's awful weird how, Conspiracy 1 feeds into Conspiracy 2, feeds into Conspiracy 3. You could start lining things up for some reason now. And it really makes you wonder, like, why? Why is it so easy? And even more funny, speaking of which, Oprah. I mean, Oprah's gotten all these people that have the same conspiracy theories about Tom Hanks have thrown Oprah in there. Because of that picture of her with that young girl and Harvey Weinstein. Well, pictures of her with Tom Hanks with a black eye. With other people that are real just shady, gross people. And if there was some kind of huge conspiracy or something where, like, all these people had her trending on Twitter for being arrested, who knows what they're actually being arrested for. What she was supposed to be arrested for, which is a great question. It's a great question. I think that, I didn't know if there was one specific thing. I just saw that she was trending, and it was trending because she was arrested. And some of the conspiracy theorist type people think that she's eventually going to be arrested. Someone even pointed this out. And I remember this happening. And I remember it was really odd. You remember a year ago when Oprah, all the famous people wanted Oprah to be president, run for president. They're like, she'll beat Trump for sure. Okay. And then, she was even kind of like floating around and being funny with it. And then they asked Trump, what do you think? Would you like to go up against Oprah? And he goes, yeah, I know all her secrets. It's okay. That's a weird way to put that. I mean, like I said, if you were a conspiracy theorist, you'd probably be like, why do you put it that way? I mean, if you ask him about Bernie Sanders, he's like, I can beat Bernie. Bernie's an idiot. If you ask him about Joe Biden, Joe Biden's an idiot. I can beat him. He's corrupt. He even says that. But Oprah, he said something about her secrets. I remember at the time just being like, whatever. And the next day, Oprah clarifies that she is not going to run for president. See, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you'd put those together. And you would think, that's weird, right? Right? So, who knows? I think maybe there's someone out there who's just magically lining things up. It's kind of like, remember the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? It's like that. It's like every, and you could take your time and go through the list, and you'll eventually find 6 degrees of Harvey Weinstein, 6 degrees of Jeffrey Epstein. With all of these people who get on Twitter on a daily basis and lose their minds over Donald Trump. You're like, why is he so bad? Why are you so angry at him? I mean, even if I was liberal, which I'm kind of socially liberal, I don't care if you want to put a bone through your nose and get someone to pay you to play with your feet. Like literally, if you can make money selling foot pictures or doing dirty stuff to another consenting adult, party on, man. That's not my business. And I don't think Trump would care. So, the point is, why are these Hollywood people so nuts about him? He's not even like George Bush, 1 or 2. With the crazy right-wing stuff and the warmongering. He tries to keep us out of wars. So I don't know why, why is Robert De Niro so angry at Trump? That makes you wonder. And then you look at all the stuff he's worked with, people that are scumbags in Hollywood. I'm not going to specify anybody. Like I said, 6 degrees of dirty Hollywood. Bette Midler. Barbara Streisand, for God's sake. You could look at Barbara Streisand saying Michael Jackson had needs sexually. It shouldn't be a problem. Referring to maybe he was a pedo, but it shouldn't be our problem. Now I don't know. Macaulay Culkin and Corey, what's his name? The one who's got his weird fake movie coming out, where he's blaming Charlie Sheen again. Corey Feldman. And what is that? What is that train wreck anyway? I digress. So, like I'm saying, I'm just trying to see if the coronavirus stuff makes any sense. If the conspiracy theories can wash out to more normal stuff. Like this week. Here's an example of what's probably more normal. You take the craziest thing and then you boil it down to the least crazy thing, and that's probably where you're actually at. There's the Anthony Weiner laptop. Okay, so this is the thing of mythological proportions. And so you're saying, okay, why are we talking about that again? That's from 2016, right? Anthony Weiner married to Uma Abedin, who was Hillary Clinton's assistant. Girl Friday, who knows what she was. She's always connected to her. Anyway, Anthony Weiner gets arrested, and I think he was a state senator. And they're all connected to all the different deep state people. And he gets arrested because he's sexting a 15-year-old girl and accused of more stuff. But I think that's why he actually officially went in. So they get this laptop. And they reopen the whole the whole case on Hillary Clinton from the missing emails and all that. Apparently they found her emails, or some of the emails, who knows, on the laptop and some other stuff. And we've heard all kinds of different stories about what this actually is, okay? And at the time, Mike Flynn, General Mike Flynn, he was hanging out with Trump and them, and he even posted a story about the kind of jacked up things that might be, and he alluded to everything from pay for play to even, I think even his tweet referenced something about sex crimes or trafficking children, or, And who knows if he was specifying that or what exactly it was. So anyway, Anthony Weiner's laptop is what he was talking about. Anthony Weiner's laptop gets held by the New York police, and for some reason, from what we understand, the New York police said that the FBI needed to reopen the investigation. Now, they did, and then they dropped it before the election. Now, we've all found out for sure that James Comey, Peter Strzok, Lisa Page, and some other people from the FBI were all basically clearing Hillary of everything no matter what, and blaming Trump for Russia stuff that didn't exist. That's been proven. That's actual facts. I'm not going to argue. Okay, cool. So, you're like, what was on that laptop? And remember, General Flynn tweeted out something about the kind of scary things on the laptop. We've all heard about that there's a folder on the laptop called insurance policy. Or life insurance, one of the two. And inside that folder was supposedly damning evidence against Hillary Clinton, Uma Abedin, and whoever. I think it's Uma, maybe it's Huma, I don't know. It's got an H, but I think they pronounce it Uma. So I've heard everything from crazy videos of Hillary Clinton torturing a child to death on that video, to her, having sex with children on video on there. Now, that's crazy. That's too far. That can't be real. Right? But I've also heard that they found all of the emails showing where she said, if you do this and give my husband Bill money, he'll come over and talk for $500,000, and then we'll slide this thing through for you. Pay for play, as it's called. Right? Okay, that makes more sense. We've also heard that she knew that Anthony Weiner, her employee's husband, was sexting pictures of his junk to 15-year-olds, and that she covered it up, and there was proof of that on the laptop. Okay, cool, okay. That's possible. It's still gross and disgusting, but it's possible, and it's not to the level of murdering a child. All right. Sorry. Had to flip the tape over. So, here's where it gets crazy. As we said, the tweet from Michael Flynn during the 2016 election basically said it had some damning charges. And recently, they're going back there. They're trying to, relitigate or whatever. He's got a new lawyer. He's getting all the charges thrown out. And if he does still get prosecuted, Trump said he would even probably pardon him because it's so ridiculous. Okay. So now he's got this lawyer named Sidney Powell. And she is awesome. I mean, she gets in there and just goes and goes and goes. And the other day, she comes out and she makes a video. She's speaking at an event is what this happens. And, wow, I mean, the stuff that she says, like I said, if you were a conspiracy theorist, you'd be like, holy God. Because not only does she say that, they've got this laptop. The laptop's got all this damning evidence. It's got all this stuff. But she even says that it's so bad that there would be tons of prosecutions from the evidence on this laptop. And the president should take this laptop, give it to people he trusts, and start prosecuting people. Wow, that's interesting. But like I said, what I've said is the least painful problem is probably still prosecutable. But then she says something very interesting. And she says that some of the hardened New York City cops that saw the stuff on the laptop had to go throw up. They were so shocked at the horrible things that they saw. Now, I mean, that could mean anything. But I mean, you did have Anthony Weiner, who obviously likes younger girls. But you have to ask yourself, come on, man, you know New York. You know what New York City cops have seen. What the hell? What the hell could drive one of those guys to go throw up? I mean, it really just makes you wonder, how bad does it have to be? What did they see? You know? Like I said, if I was a conspiracy theorist, now where we wrap all this together, you're like, what has this got to do with the coronavirus? One of the many conspiracy theories out there is that the coronavirus was already planned by, whatever you want to call them, these people that do evil things in the dark and in the shadows. And it was planned to cause the economy to collapse. And that the good guys, who have been planning on taking down all these people that do bad things, are using it, because they found out about it, to quarantine normal people and take down all these bad people. And when you look through that weird lens, it really makes you start to be a conspiracy theorist. Not me, of course. Nope. Not me. Well, that's enough for today. Something to think about. Something to let bubble in your brain. Maybe we'll see some kind of result of something soon. Or maybe not. Have a good night.